What it is, TV. G-Rod in the building. Caught up with a good friend of mine. Had to bring him on TV. Let everybody know who you are, man.
I'm MG6 from Beats Be With You Records. What's going on, y'all?
Tell everybody where you from, man. Where we at today,
I'm from
man?
right here in Lake County, Leesburg.
That's what's up.
Been here a while.
I had to get you on the show because you do something very special and spectacular. You're a producer, but before I get into it and we go into depth, you produce different genres of records, and that's why I had to have you here. So first of all, let's talk about the production. How did you get into producing, man?
Started when I was a kid, high school, man. I started out working with techno.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a metalhead.
Mm-hmm.
Had a certain love for hip hop, especially West Coast hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And I started figuring out how to make beats. Moms would never buy me a drum set.
Right.
So, I moved on to the next best thing. I would plug headphones into and started making beats on a computer, recorded through a karaoke machine, an Iowa sound system, record on tape, got out, and my fellows got me into local bands, started doing hip hop and heavy metal like that. And then as technology moved up, I got faster with an iPad and a Fruity Loops program. That was it, man. I took off from there. Now,
you jump in the gun because there's so much I want the people to understand. Because understand this, when he talks about the iPad, y'all gotta understand how crazy he is with it. Well, we gonna get into that in a minute. Let's touch. Let's get into like in depth with the hip hop thing, because what you just was saying, that it was very influential in your life. What was it that attracted you to hip hop?
Man, you can say and do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom of speech is a powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're mad, you put that thing down on paper. You don't go to jail over it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're happy,
Mm-hmm.
put that thing down on paper. It ain't nobody gonna say nothing except for, this is beautiful. There's critics. So what?
Mm-hmm.
We don't like critics. I don't care.
Okay.
When it comes down to it, though, it's a form of expression that keeps me from getting into trouble.
I can dig it.
You ain't see me in cuffs over pressing some keys.
Now, you were telling me before that you're self-taught. How did you, what got you into teaching yourself? Like, how did you get into that?
I love it. I didn't have nobody to show me. I didn't know any other musicians. There's none really in my family, so I wanted to do it. I knew it was something I wanted to do. The drive and the push. I would go to Sam Ash in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I walked in there with fellow friends that run bands, and I just play with equipment, get an ear for it. You learn how to get that sound. All I want to do is find that sound. How do you do it, and how do you mess with it?
Okay.
Hours upon hours. That's it.
Now, let's touch the rock music, because just as good as you are a producer with hip hop, you're just as good, even so more so better with the rock. How did you get into the rock music?
I'm raised on it.
Mm-hmm.
My daddy was a classic rocker, metalhead. My mom was a disco bunny.
Okay.
So, it was only natural for both sides to clash and meet up with me. When it comes down to it, it's from the old Grandmaster Flash to, the old Black Sabbath, the Rolling Stones, Nick, Pink Floyd. When it comes to the hip hop, Daddy Kane, we're talking all the old stuff. I love it all. And I just figured out a way to mash it together.
Get us in the mind of you when you go into the studio to make that record. Like, how do you know what the day's gonna bring? Is it gonna be a rap day or a rock day? How does that work?
I never do know.
Okay.
I just come in here, start off, and depends on what's going on in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Really, if it's good times, if things are going well, it's actually harder for me to make a beat, because trying to make something happier doesn't come so natural to me as dark stuff, because, man, this guy right here has lived some dark places in his time in life, for sure. But, it's just whatever it is, or maybe something I heard that day that gave me an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, when they make music, they heard something that they liked and it gave them an idea. It doesn't matter what they say or do or how creative or genuine they are. Music is always, what's the word I'm looking for? It's always biting something else in a sense, but it's more of paying homage and moving on and making it newer. That's how I go on with it.
How do you know? Because and I'm just judging off of what I've heard, because I've heard a lot of your beats, your rock beats, your hip hop beats. How do you know it's the one. This is the one. How do you know that you got it?
How do I know? Because after I've done played it, drove myself nuts over it, recorded it a few times, or or changed it, and I bring it to my people. First thing I do is I ask my friends. I expect honesty all the time. Hey, does this sound good? What do you think? Is it catchy enough? Is it gonna work? And it's funny because a lot of times the things that I don't like that I make, everybody loves. So it just is what it is. So my thing was on the weekends I tried to make 2 or 3 beats a weekend because one of them is bound to be decent. And that's when I go to Bruce and be like, which one we're working on, dog? What we gonna do? Which one are you feeling? Because we won't kill this thing. Because we're trying to get somewhere.
Right.
So, and that's what I do.
And with that being said, I wanted to touch that as well. Because you're always in the studio working. Like, every time you get a free minute, you're in here grinding.
Right.
Where do you get that work ethic from? Like, what is it that drives you to stay in the studio, lock the doors, and just, I'm not coming out until I'm banging out some joints? Where do you get that drive from?
Because I want it. That and my whole family works. My mom started working me in kitchens. And, she's been a waitress all her life. My daddy's ran companies, trucking companies, anything to do with heavy equipment. My dad works countless hours, obsesses over his job. Definitely get it from him. But the work ethic all around comes from both of my parents.
That's what's up. Now, like, let's talk about the record label real quick. I had Bruce on here last week, and we talked about, the record label. So let's get, your side of it on, what you do with the record label. First of all, again, let the people know the name of the record label and then break down your functions at the label.
Oh, this right here, this is Beast Bewitching Records. And we ain't going nowhere. We're the hardest ones out. The hardest working ones out, too. This is what we do. It's what we love to do. We're going to continue to do. And we're going to be somewhere.
That's what's up.
This little bedroom is going to turn into an office building. Soon enough, y'all. Watch. Mark my words.
Now, for the, you already know that it's so many kids right now watching this that want to be producers or get into the production game. What advice you give up and coming producers that want to be on your level? How do you tell these new cats, how do they get to where you're at?
Don't be afraid to be different. When I started this, and I started showing these cats around here what I do, and especially with the metal influence, and all these southern rappers around here in that mindset, they were scared to mess with me, And I was like, man, I'm telling you, creativity, being genuine, being new, do it, man, do it. And that's how I met Bruce, and he gave me the chance. That was it. I'm doing different, It's kind of like Outkast out there in ATL. Them cats, they do their own thing, Everybody else on the Little John style stuff and stuff like that back then, and I always appreciated that. I always loved the freak of the group, as you would say, the one who's different, the standout. I love that.
Talk about you and Bruce's chemistry. Like I said, I spoke to him last week about it, and he just when we mentioned the label and when we mentioned you, he just got so excited on you guys' chemistry and working together. Now let's get it from your angle. Like, explain you guys' chemistry. How does that work?
The first time I met him, we were with my dog Booyah, and which is another excellent little rap. And I had this beat called Down Syndrome, and Booyah was like, I'm gonna bring this cat over, Bruce, I'm gonna rap on it, and I've spoken to Bruce on Facebook prior, never met him. We've known each other 2 years now, but I was like, man, let's see. I listened to some of his music online. I was like, he's not bad, I'm gonna check him out because I'm trying. I want good people,
Right.
I don't want some kid who's rapping about his fitted, his drugs, and his damn rims.
Right.
Darn rims, sorry. And we just we all got together, and then Bruce actually wrote his rap in 10 minutes, and he thought it sucked. And I was like, dude, you killed it for me. Thank you, And Booyah already had his stuff. Ever since then, we exchanged numbers. And I'm always nocturnal. I worked a lot of nights then for the company, and he would show up at the end of the night. We'd come and hang, just writing beats together. The first time I met him, he was bringing me a keyboard to plug into my computer to make beats with, like an actual piano keyboard. And I was like, nah, man, I do it on the touch screen. Let me show you. I dropped a beat for him in like 10 minutes and just got when he got there, it influenced me to make something cool, like I was sizing him up through music. And I threw that banger on for him, and he's like, "Oh, that's it, it's on." And ever since then, we've been steady. You know what I'm saying? He took off for me on Texas for a little while with his cousin. And I was like, "Man, when are you coming back? I'm lost."
Right.
You know, ever since he's been back, we've been working even harder. Finally got the studio built and just rocking on. You know, he's family.
Now, you touched on, because I was just about to ask you this as well. You got the studio. I know you got the record label and you and Bruce doing your thing, but again, there's going to be a lot of artists out here watching this show. Can an artist come see you and say, "Yo, M, I need a beat. Yo, M, I need some studio time"? Are you open to the public like that?
Oh, absolutely. Money
Okay.
talks, right?
Okay.
Ain't nothing free. They're gonna pay for this.
Right.
You know, so absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and judge you. If you got some work you want to do, hey, I'm gonna put you on. No
Okay.
problem. But of course, there's nothing in life free. You want to get some work? I'm not gonna charge you like crazy. We're all from the hood. I know what's going on. You know, so sure, we can talk about it. We can do it.
That's
And I've always let them open to the public. Absolutely, all genres, all anything. We're open book around here.
Now, I know you and Bruce do the rap thing. Let's talk about some of your rock projects, what you got going on with there. Anything that, the people should be knowing about?
I'm working on a solo project. Metal's my heart and soul. Been working with my buddy Ryan Will now from the local band Apollo Electric, which those boys are bad.
Okay, yeah, I heard
And,
about them. I heard they're pretty good.
He's been dropping some solos, some guitar solos on some of my newer stuff, and pretty impressed with it. He said he loves what we're doing, and in his band he plays a different style, and so when he gets over here, I think he gets to pour a little more out of his heart when he gets to play with me, because we're heavier, with the stuff I make is heavy. It either scares people or excites them, and I love both. You know what I'm saying? That's me. I love that. So I get off on it. That's it. I mean, when I get on that, especially a stage mic on a stage, and get to scream like that, and get to let out my aggressive side, there's no better euphoric feeling in the world.
Now, we touched the hip hop, so now I want to touch the rock for a little bit. What do you think when you hear critics say nowadays about where rock is heading? Like, it's some talk that, rock is kind of dying out, or, doesn't have the full momentum as it did before. What do you say, or your thoughts on where the music's going now?
This happens every 10 years. Rock is dead. Marilyn Manson said it, rock is dead. Well, my man Corey Taylor from Slipknot, he threw it right in Gene Simmons' face from Kiss. And said,
Right.
Rock ain't dead, y'all. Check this out. And I don't know if you heard that new album or not. Rock ain't dead. And to me, rock is so many things more than just rock. That's what metal is. Metal is a form of rock. It ain't gone nowhere. Have you seen some of the bands that are out these days, the new ones? I think they push the envelope that much more. Some of them get a little more, what's the word I'm looking for since I can't say bad words, a little wussier and stuff like that.
Right.
Which, I'm all about keeping that aggressive side,
My question too on that, because I talk to local bands as well, and a lot of them talk about how, not saying that they're demeaning their art, but a lot of times they have to dumb down with like covers and why, or not saying why, but what's your thoughts on, especially a lot of these venues down here in Lake County that only letting bands play if it's covers? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
It means that they're scared, to me.
But what would they be scared of? Like, just, explain to them.
Scared of playing something that they wouldn't like.
Wow.
Or that they're not ready for. Everybody, see, I'm about that shock rock. And that's what it is. You want to play something that's going to get the attention of the people, that's going to open some eyes, or going to make some babies cry.
Gotcha.
That's it. And that's what I'm about. I don't give a darn what everybody thinks.
Right.
When it comes out, this stuff comes from my heart, man. And it comes from theirs too. We gonna say some stuff. Absolutely.
Now with that, you already, again, and again, like, this conversation, this interview is important to me. I'm glad you're here, but it's important to me because you're the first guest that I have that covers both genres, and it's very important to me that we talk about it for Lake County because it's a scene that is very big, but it really hasn't been touched.
Kind of has a touch side to
Right,
it. It's
right.
It's like Best Kids TV. And
Yes.
I almost like that at the same time. I get what you're saying. But anybody who wants it knows where to go and get it, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? They know who to look for. You know, who's looking to get a little more out there than the norm, and the same thing that's played on the dang jukebox every day. You know, so. That is what it is. Me, that's the next step I want to take eventually. Is I want to open up a place, even a bar with a stage in it. You know, just where everybody like us can come because we're out there. We're everywhere.
Yeah, and I'm learning that.
From here to Miami, I got people in Miami. When I took a family vacation in July, and met up with my buddy Bobby Belafonte down there, and he took me to some places down there where what we're doing, it's alive down there. You know, and from the reggae mixed with, you know, hip hop and mixed with metal and all, it's wild, you know. It's cool because we get to send each other all this stuff back and forth. We get to go stay with each other back and forth, put shows back and forth.
Nice.
And, you know, it's cool to have a network like that. And I got a couple people in Tampa I'm trying to link up with and just get us everywhere. Eventually, I'm going to start pushing. I got a cousin up in Long Island, and she works for Empire Records up there.
Nice.
And I'm trying to get her some stuff. Man, we coming. We're going to get out there.
Now, you know, any last words of advice that you want to give to people out there? Like, I asked Bruce this question because this is one of my questions that I always ask. So before I ask you that question, let me ask you this: when the smoke clears and it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered for?
For the persistence, the dedication, the loyalty. That's what we do. It's the only way you're gonna get it. So it's gonna be seen anyways. They can remember me for whatever they want, but they're gonna know what I'll be remembered for.
Now, with that being said, let's go back to that next question. What final words of advice you give to people out there that's, you know, watching you and trying to get to your level?
If there's something you want to do, don't listen to nobody else. You want to do it, do it. Fall on your face 5 times, 5,000 times. Get back up, brush the dirt off, go right back to doing what you was doing. Eventually, you will get what you want. That's it. That's all you can do.
That's what's up. Any shout outs you want to give before we get up out of here?
Shout out to OTS, Chief. What's up, fellas? Lincoln, what's going on? Booyah, Swervy. You know what's up. I'm gonna see y'all. That's about it.